at the base camp of our entrepreneurship dreams and entrepreneurship treasure map and startup ascension, where we are springboarded from sales, selling something technical, which is what your tech startup is. It's something technical, and if you've never done tech sales or technical selling, then you're going to be rowing up a river of shit without a paddle. Up a creek without a paddle, not an exaggeration, because you're embarking on becoming a tech salesperson and you don't even know the game that you're in right now, which is okay, because me, Larry Chiang, we're going to solve that using one video and a book that I just read that now I will do a sequel 5 chapters to. The book that I read is Gym Launch. Oh, but what does selling a gym have anything to do with my tech startup that does AI? Oh, it turns out it will have everything to do with it because of these following 32 components. Let's get into component number 1. What if you started your thing and hoped that it would just go viral and distribute it itself? That's what most gym owners think. That's what every person who has an AI app idea or an AI agent thinks, is they think, oh, if I just vibe code this shiitake up, it will literally sell itself. No idea of business model, no standing on the shoulders of giants, no plan to do either tech or sales or distribution. Sound familiar? Don't worry, the cadaver that you're practicing on is your own. The bankruptcy that you're going to duck is your future bankruptcy using this video and making it rain notes and content. And number 2, having a plan for money inbound, making a cash flow lead generation business, because chapter 2 of Gym Launch skips over the step of HTMMWYMM, which is how to make money while you're making money. Keep in mind, this is not a class that you're needing to pay for, because there is no paywall. Is this all free? It is, and there's no paywall after that. How can I afford to give you $270,000 worth of knowledge? How can I afford it? It's the business model of, is my free shiitake better than a $1,000 Alex Hormozi workshop? That's not bluster. That's not overconfidence. That's the specificity of point number 3, which is taking and editing the Gym Launch book and selling 2. We're doing tech sales and we've sold 0. And that's okay. But when we do a tech startup, staying stuck on 0 is going to be incredibly detrimental. This is why we're going to sell 2 before the end of the video, and I'm actually going to buy something from you before this video ends. What? Point number 4, if you're taking notes. We don't want to be in a situation where we're behind the money ball, where money goes out before money comes in. That's not a situation that we ever want to be involved in. This is the hole in the black hole and gold hole of entrepreneurship via Alex Hormozi, in advocating that you go from 0 to 100 million. In the venture capital parlance, the jargon is centicorn. Centicorn is 100 million. It's a portion of a unicorn. Unicorn is obviously unicorn is obviously 1 billion. So if you're going to go from 0 to centicorn, we're going to need to parse the words marketing from sales. They're not the same word, and that's what Jim Launch is about, is subtly working in sales while telling you the painless way, which is to do marketing. When we have a confusion between those two words, our effort of doing business becomes not a Jedi in business administration. It becomes the opposite taco, the oppo taco of a Jedi, which is stressed out of their mind trying to do marketing when the answer is staring at you in the face, which is do tech sales. Point number 5. When we sell two things, what happens mentally in our brain? We got off of 0 and now we're able to prime the pump of getting slightly better. This is what they don't teach at YC, which is blessing you for being okay with being stuck at 0. The components of technical sales become semi-intimidating. Don't let it intimidate you. This is how to sell your first thing. There's this exercise, it's called sell me this pen. That's okay. That's an exercise that you and I can do if you want to cold call me to sell me a pen. My phone number's everywhere. If you've got the confidence to sell me a pen, I'll probably buy a pen from you. Let's get into something that is more specific, which is slightly more difficult to sell, which is this. Sell me this Equinox gym membership for $700. What you're doing is you're selling something using the book Gym Launch, which is in and of itself a valuable property. So you're taking a book and you're actually selling 2 gym memberships. Because what you don't want to do as an Alex Hormozi fan is watch the genius things that he does and then not try to walk at least 2 steps of the 1,000 steps required to really know a person. That's why we're selling an Equinox gym membership for $700 per month. Normally it's obviously less than $100. Why are we doing this exercise? We are doing this exercise because we get to go through the book Gym Launch and ask ourselves the question, how do we use this book to sell 2 memberships at $700? Because we get to study buddy our first book together. So if you're closing on a deal, you just closed the deal with Larry Chiang, the easiest deal ever, which is you call me up and say, hey, instead of paying you $1,000 to study buddy this gym launch book written by Alex Hormozi, why don't we study buddy it together? And if I flake, then I'll donate blah, blah, blah. And so what we're doing is we're reading a book with the express goal of attempting to make 2 sales for $700 per sale. Number next, let's say we like the podcast 0 to 1 million. We can sell 2 hot dogs because the IRL component, the in real life component of doing promotion and selling to prospects, is a skill that is absolutely skipped over in the array of Alex Hormozi mentorship. That's what this video solves, and if you're just jumping into this video, you've landed at the perfect time. Why? Because just selling 2 hot dogs seems like a joke. You're like, what? I'm actually gonna have to sell a hot dog or a slice of pizza? But let's stick with hot dogs because that's what Sam Parr did in going from 0 to multimillionaire. What you don't want to do with these influencers who do tech sales, Shelby Sapp included, is you don't want to just see what they did and say, oh, okay, I guess they did it. Give me the shortcut. I'm not saying that there are no shortcuts, because the shortest shortcut that I know is to go from 0 sales to 2 sales. I'm not saying be a professional hot dog seller. I'm not saying be a professional book club arbiter. I'm not saying selling gym memberships by turning them around. What I am saying is on sequential Saturdays, Psycho Saturdays, hat tip Gary Vaynerchuk, who got distracted in encouraging people to sell 2 things, and then we benefit because we go from 0 to 2. Let's keep bullet pointing forward. We are editing and augmenting 8 chapters to Gym Launch. Are we going to call it Gym Lean Launch Pad? Maybe. Are we going to call it Gym Launching Pads? Maybe. You can call this whatever you'd like, because these are the supplemental chapters that I wrote via prompting and AI using Grok 3. Let's freaking go. Chapter 27. Write a book about gym launching pads by doing an 8 video summary of the following chapters. That was chapter 27, which is you want to write a sequel to the chapters 1 through 26, gym launch. So how meta is it to actually take the Alex Hormozi advice in documenting the efforts that you're doing into a actual PDF that you're generating using this video, the structure of chapter 28, with the next bullet point, chapter 29, which is cadaver, advocates, 35 plus pages of testimonials broken down into specific what the actual F are these testimonials talking about. Because if you read Gym Launch, there's actually 38 pages of testimonials. What if you took each testimonial and broke down what chapters in the book that were used? Would that be incredibly useful to us learning how to turn a cadaver around, which is chapter 29? Because chapter 28 is taking testimonials and breaking down the specific chapters inside the book Gym Launch. The reason this is critical is we are doing case studies for turnarounds. Because what is acquisition.com if not a launch pad for gyms that were about to go bankrupt? Is that chapter 65 of the book that we're co-authoring? It is. Is this book worth $1,000? Most definitively, yes, 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 yes. Chapter 65, Lean Launch Pad. I call it hashtag ENGR245. Why? Because I'm circling this technical content back to 4 steps to the epiphany, which also skipped the step of, hey, you guys got to do tech sales. Startup death spiral is imminent. That's chapter 65 of Gym Launching Pad, the springboard for selling 2 gym memberships and then quitting the gym business. Not quitting it, retiring from it, richer because you sold 2. Chapter 66, Snowball. Snowball rolling down the hill. That's EUTWM PPM because the gym launch book, it left off a bunch of AI content. You're welcome. Chapter 67 is stepping towards a new destiny. So when we're stepping towards a new destiny, what's going on? We're doing things that make us temporarily uncomfortable, which is telling Alex Hormozy, hey, you've got a black and gold hole that Vanderbilt flavored because you studied organizational behavior and corporate strategy, and those 2 skills don't help for entrepreneurship. And it leaks through the content that there's a hole. What hole is being filled? Sexual pun unintended. It's this. It's this video. It's this video because chapter 68 is Web 4. That's acquisition. So what you're doing with chapter 68 is the acquisition of doing a turnaround of yourself by turning around a book while turning around Alex Hormozy's entire array of motivational language and motivational content by incorporating tech sales via Web 4. And that's you doing a baby version of acquisition. How empowered are you right now to be able to eventually surpass Alex Hormozy while you surpass Larry Chiang? Because this video is your anchor video. This video is your coup d'etat. This video is your flagship video that we study, that you initially watched for 48 seconds, and then now your friends are doing it, and you're like, oh crap, I need a better study, because the next bullet point is hashtag CHA69, Gym Launch Pad, the unwritten chapters within Alex Hormozy. Let's freaking go. The faux franchise. So we're just casually watching a video, hanging out with Larry Chiang. Super casual, super chill. Oh my God, there is some genius shiitake that this Chinese cowboy is dropping. I know, this is genius content. This is how we're going to benefit from chapter 69, Gym Launching Pads, which is this. It's a faux franchise. It's a fake joke franchise from a book that you're springboarding from. Do you see how Alex Hormozy you are right now? Because the conclusion that most VCs have is, what if I wrote a book and that book became a onboarding tool for portfolio companies? Now you're doing portfolio arbitrage using a book, using this unwritten chapter that I went ahead and prompt engineering wrote it for you. This is where you get to practice it This is where you get to theorize it. This is where you get to execute it, which is chapter 69, faux franchise. This is definitively what they don't teach you at YC. That's okay, because they're probably going to start teaching this super fast. Why? It's a race to being the solo employee centacorn, one employee YC, June 14. That class is going to give birth to the first YC one solo founder business that reaches centacorn status, which is $100 million. Is 100 million Alex Hormozi's favorite number? Oh yeah. This is how we're going to fill the holes, the gold and black holes, Vanderbilt pun intended, because I sniffed out the fact that he's a little too Accenture and a little too marketing and a little too irresistible offering, easy for me to say, and not enough technical salesy. That's why we're doing chapter 69, strap in, it's about to get super fun. What we're doing with a faux franchise is we are selling Equinox memberships. How much? $700 for the first 3 months. Later, it drops to $450. How chapter 13 am I of the book Gym Launch? How page 81. How page 81 am I? How page 138 am I? How am I with page 91 right from the Gym Launch book? This is exactly the model. 3 times $700 a month. In month number 4, it drops to $450. Why is it structured like this? I didn't structure it like this. Alex Hormozi did. He's doing 6 months at 300, and then in month number 7, it drops to half of that. That's what we're doing with $700 a month. This is how the $700 works. The details will help you either get rich or be frustrated. The first $700 is a guaranteed testimonial. Why? Because if you say one positive thing about your Equinox gym membership in SoCo, you will get half of your $700 back. You can do this for the first 2 months. What in the world is this magical shiitake? It's the Mark McCormack reverse rebate model. Did he leave it off of chapter 183 in Gym Launching? Yeah, he did. And that's okay, because it's totally legal to do a reverse rebate model. Is this similar to page 169, where Orange Theory charges you a $15 no-show fee? It's almost exactly that, but more genius. Like Jedi in business genius, this is the reverse rebate model. It's charging $700 and selling 2 gym memberships and offering almost 100% of the money back in the first 2 months. What is an Equinox gym membership if not an opportunity to connect with the third institution of Silicon Valley, teaching you yoga, teaching you tech sales? Do you see that this is also Workout Buddy, page 195? Because you're taking a book about gym management, gym launching, and you're now reading it to think, how can I make $3,000 by reading a dumb book about gym sales, selling gym memberships? Because what gym sales does in 3 Saturdays is it lets you realize that if you can sell a gym membership to Equinox, and trust me, you will sell 2 if you have to not beg, not borrow, not steal. You'll literally be in flow, and after I wrangle you across the finish line of I sold 2, you're going to feel magnanimously like you're the 500-pound fat girl who is now 110 pounds because you finally exercised your brain to go from sofa to 2 sales, sofa to 5K, where you're at level 0 to 2 sales using Chapter 69, which is a faux franchise. Chapter 70 is almost a joke, which is awesome, which is Chapter 70 is 6.15. Chapter 71 is ducking bankruptcy. Ducking bankruptcy, deeply understood credit default, where we don't need to go bankrupt ever again. Not that we would even consider it, but that's what happens in a gym situation is you're trying to avoid bankruptcy. That's Chapter 71. Chapter 72 is Venue 4. So the gap in the Alex Hormozi content is this: tech sales. That's what the name of the video is. That's what being a Jedi in business administration seems like, is you're good at both sales and tech. What we're doing within this video is playfully editing a book, Gym Launch, problem. It's $75 used, problem. It's $250 used. So how are you going to sell a book that's out of print? Is it left out of print for a reason? I won't go into conspiracy theories, but that's an opportunity for us to be able to turn around a book that's out of print. How and why? By using AI to make our first $500 ever. Does Grok 3 and OpenAI and Claude have the ability to spider and comprehend Gym Launch? Are we able to break down chapters and technically sell each chapter in subsequent Psycho Saturdays? Is this video unlike any other video that you've been able to do a drive-by on? Because what this video teases you to do is to rewatch and to actually execute how to watch a YouTube video with the goal of, let's try to make $3,000. Because every video you're hoping for is a secret bullet. What this video is seemingly going in 10 directions, but it's actually just going in one direction, which is, do you want to be a Jedi in business? Because if you do, the choice that you might consider making is dabbling with the skill of tech sales. Joining the two things that seem like they're on opposite ends of the spectrum. And is this Apo Taco default Asperger's? Yes, we're not even selling burgers. We're selling hot dogs. Am I making fun of Asperger's people who are 11 years away from a 4-year engineering degree? Yes. Is our attention deficit an anomaly or a chemical shortage? I can't comment on that because I'm not a doctor. What I can do is work and exercise our brain as a semi-student athlete who is needing to be more athletic and encouraging you to be slightly more studious. Student athlete and tech sales. This is the level of confidence that I'm bringing because I'm pretty good at athletics and I'm pretty good at being a student. I'm incredibly good with technology while I'm scary good at selling. Being so good at sales and selling to the point where people even question if I were competent in engineering. The choice that you guys can make is not this point in the video, I'm about to sell you a course. There is no course to sell. The choice that you guys make is, will I commit to rewatching this Larry Chiang video? Will I aspire to train my brain to learn 5 things to 50 things from that one video, so that way it literally chapter 27's, which is, will you choose chapter 27? Will you springboard? Will you take step 1 and look up the Alex Hormozi PDF? Will you look at the market value of the price of the book from Alex Hormozi? Will you look at doing a bibliography to a book that you have not yet purchased? Will you, which is, this video is a bibliography to a book, because that book, it doesn't have a bibliography. And so Alex Hormozi will know your name and maybe even say your name on videos if you install a bibliography to his out of print book. I don't know if that's the social media cred that you're looking for, or the transition from NPC to legend, which is, can you solve an Alex Hormozi problem? Because I sniffed out a problem, which is Accenture boy, who's an alum of Vanderbilt, can't recommend that people do tech sales. That's 28, chapter 28 of Gym Launch is, will you attempt to do technical sales? I feel as if this video has bookended nicely from the staccato burst of what Alex Hormozi left off in his motivational speaking, because he's recommending that you go from 0 to centicorn, which is $100 million, $100 million deals, $100 million leads, $100 million in wealth. Being able to stepwise achieve dollar amounts that are just over 0, so that way we feel amazed at our own ability to take a Larry Chiang video. Hi, if we haven't met before, I'm Larry Chiang. Take a Larry Chiang video and put pen to paper and take a half a page of notes or 8 pages of notes. Let's go into congratulating you for sticking this long into the video. Let's go over black holes inside of the gold pitfalls. Black and gold being Vanderbilt pitfalls. 1, well, actually 17, but let's just go with 1, which is live events. Can you DJ up, conjure up a live event to meet prospects at a, let's say, trade show? Can you do live events at, let's say, a conference on technology? Can you network with people that have no need and no trust? Because what's hard about technical entrepreneurship is we're trying to do tech sales for a quarter-baked product that the founder is not exactly making progress on. So are the cards, is the deck stacked against you? A little bit. Improve your odds doing live events. IRL cold opens. If you're not able to do cold opens in a dating situation, good luck trying to do cold opens in a business commerce relationship. If you cannot cold open, cold call, and you're reliant upon marketing or you're delegating distribution, you're going to be in for a world of hurt. This is the truths of being a Jedi in business administration, which is also Jedi in vagina administration. Next bullet point, number 19, buying ads at the sub $5 million level. I don't think buying ads is going to be a solution other than increasing my thinking that you're going to go bankrupt when you buy ads. When Jim launched, they're buying cheap ass Facebook ads, and that was when Facebook was just starting to sell ads. I don't know if buying ads below $5 million is exactly going to be a good choice. And I don't know how irresistible your shiitake could be. You know who else doesn't buy any ads? Tesla. You know who else is doing mentor marketing and marketing at behind a screen? YC companies. If you're doing marketing behind a screen, you're not getting user feedback at all. Tech sales skills for founders. In 3 words, you're trying to be a national account manager when you're doing tech sales. That means you're skipping SDK, you're skipping AE, you're skipping the steps and having to jump to national account manager doing LAMP, large account management processes. So you're doing B2B enterprise sales with 0 experience doing tech sales with a product that's 1 quarter baked. When I rifle out those things together, doesn't it sound like the company's going to go bankrupt? Well, turns out 80% of companies spinning out of Stanford and YC end up going bankrupt. That's not a good thing. So the problem that I hit right on the head is, why are you trying to be national account manager when you don't have entry-level SDK skills or AE skills or cold calling skills? Because if you're 0 for 5, you're not magically going to be tomorrow hitting a 5-run home run with nobody on base. And if the sports analogies are demoralizing, just realize that if you read the book Jim Launch 0 times, you're going to feel lost, because what if you could read an Alex Hormozi book What if you could read an Alex Hormozi book and then figure out how to go from 0 to 0.6, 0.06, 0.0006 of a centicorn, going to 600K? Startup death spiral. What that is hiring a national account manager that is your VP of sales. Enjoy Startup Death Spiral. This is how it works. You and your co-founder, you don't want to sell, and you don't want to do the work of being a national account manager. You don't want to do it. So what do? You hire a VP of sales. After the second VP of sales gets fired, you get fired. This is what happens in venture capital. This is startup death spiral. When we don't realize that the black and gold hole, the black hole and the gold pitfall, the Vanderbilt hole, the Accenture hole, the difficulty of going from consultant to entrepreneur while a consultant gives us advice, is startup death spiral, because we can't substitute the word sales and marketing. So being new to the channel, welcome. So what we're doing here is we're taking a out of print book and we're editing that while getting on Alex Hormozi's radar, because we're finally using AI for the first time. I could make the joke to do Asian intelligence, but I don't want to joke around too much, even though this is stand-up comedy, so I will use the word AI, artificial intelligence. So I sniffed out, you're welcome. I sniffed out a problem, which is the Alex Hormozi motivational content skips over technical sales. It skips over selling, because coaching a person to sell via YouTube is incredibly challenging. That's why tech sales at higher levels is an incredibly useful channel that my new friend Eric is doing. It's called Tech Sales at Higher Levels. What we're doing in this video is bullet pointing improvements to make on an out of print book. When was the last time you read a book and financially benefited at least $100 from reading that book? That's a question for you guys. Ever? I'll move along, which is answering the question while you ask the question, which is, with the startup death spiral, what is so true and painful is this. YC recommends that initially founders work on selling skills and not marketing skills. Because what happens when you work on marketing skills is you get the cluster F of trying to buy ads in a click fraud environment where you're literally going to lose your butt, and that money that's lost, you don't know why you lost it. Whereas if you spent time and energy, not money, time and energy on in-person events, now the user can tell you to your face your product sucks, or that you're retarded and I don't trust you. Because now what is going on is it's painful, but now you can say, hey, why do you think that? But they might trust you because they see you in person, but they may not need it. Guess what? Now you can build something that they need from a consultative sales, tech sales type of way. That's what a Jedi in business administration does, is you take lumps from the prospect, you take abuse from your future customers. Why? Because customers and prospects, they'll be incredibly mean to you before they give you money, because they could get fired for buying from you. Whereas the worst thing you can do is just feel bad about not selling. But guess what? This is also a video from Tech Sales at Higher Levels, which is, why do smart people do so poorly at tech sales? This is why. You can't hear 80 no's in a day and just 2 yeses and then wire your brain to be like, oh my God, I heard 76 no's and I got 2 yeses. I'm gonna be rich. People don't wire their brain like that. That's how Psycho Saturdays works. And this is also why Alex Hormozi, Grant Cardone, and people without an engineering degree get upset when I grind people through Top Girl Entrepreneurship Club, which is, you're gonna need to fail 70 plus times and just try to succeed twice. What are we succeeding twice doing? Going from 0 to 2 hot dogs. Succeed twice by selling 2 gym memberships for $700. 0 to Centacorn, selling things that you didn't make, then buying them. Selling things that you didn't code, and then coding them using an external API. Distributing things that you cobbled together. These are the bullet pointed things to hack distribution and seem like a Jedi in business administration. What Alex Hormozi is genius on is acing the two-sided marketplace, because what he's doing but not telling you is tech sailing up the food chain, which is gym owners, and tech sailing down the food chain, which is fat people that need to get skinny for their 20-year high school reunion. And so acing the two-sided marketplace using tech sales is incredibly executed but not explained via the Alex Hormozi book Gym Launch. Is that chapter 77? No, it's just an observation that you can use because that's executing a two-sided marketplace where you're selling the fat people to no longer be fat, and you're selling gym turnarounds to gym owners that are just over broke, living in their gym 18 hours a day, 65 hours a week. I think this book ends nicely. The solution to listening to a guy who went to Vanderbilt, who studied organizational behavior and corporate strategy, and is super proud of the fact that they graduated in 3 years. Well, guess what? I could have graduated that shit in a year because it's OB, organizational behavior, with a lopping of what? Corporate strategy. You can speed read those books. Was there anything technical in that undergrad degree? Nope. And then what do you do with OB and corporate strategy? You go work in consulting at Accenture. These are all the mistakes that Accenture and Vanderbilt alums make when they're doing entrepreneurship. The fire baptism of starting a gym and then turning around a gym is the secret sauce that forced Alex Hormozy to do sales and to get good at sales, or else bankruptcy was looming. There was no other choice. What we're gonna do is we're gonna faux franchise Gym Launch Pad, our sequel book, in doing chapter 69, which is a faux franchise, selling 0 to 2 Equinox memberships for $700 a month for 3 months, with reverse rebate models for the first 2 months. Out of pocket, they're going to be positive because this Equinox membership is cash flow positive, where if you don't become a better entrepreneur working out 2 days a week with Larry Chiang, we don't want your money. We're going to fire you as a client. You have no risk. Is this a hilarious faux franchise? You bet it is. That's what we're doing with selling an Equinox gym membership, so that way we can lecture 19, CS183E, which is ROTJ, retire on the gym, ROTG. You like that? Change one letter, make it a brand new thing. This has been a terrifically fun video to do, and I encourage you to set a dollar amount for, oh my God, this video blew my mind. It was awesome. Set a dollar amount. I know you've not made any money on any prior YouTube video watching. I know that. That's why this video, you can just say, hey, I want to try to make $5,000 and I'll be your study buddy for it.